homeowners.
Hi, Alice.
Check out how the American dream evolves from the mid-1950s when Ralph and Alice Cramden live in a rundown tenement.
Leave it to Beaver.
Just a half-decade later, the Cleavers have a nice suburban home.
That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch.
By the 70s, the Bradys have an even fancier one. Even more luxury in the 80s, with the Ewings of Dallas playing out their dramas in a mansion. Fast forward to this decade, and life is downright decadent on shows like Gossip Girl.
The boom grossed me out. You know, Hummerville and Conspicuous Consumptionville, I never liked it.
Professor Richard Florida of the University of Toronto says we are now in the middle of what he calls the Great Reset, a time when our entire way of life will be reimagined.
So do you think the American dream in some ways has been perverted in the last decade or so?
I think you're right. And I think many Americans felt that they were on this kind of treadmill and couldn't keep up and actually felt empty.
Hi, we're the Berkeleys from San Diego, California.
Holly and Keith Berkeley were definitely on that treadmill. During the boom, Holly's internet marketing consulting company was thriving. She was driven, she says, to the extreme.
With both of my boys, I only took one day off after giving birth.
What?
I only took one day off, and I thought that was what you're supposed to do. That's how you get successful.
We're going to do a double bullnose cap right here.
Keith was in overdrive, too, his contracting business doubling in size every year.
Sounds like you guys were living pretty large for a while.
We did. We upgraded to this house, bought it at the top of the market. We bought the big luxury SUV, 3 flat-screen TVs.
They even traveled the world going to U2 concerts.
Did you think twice before spending, or if you wanted something, did you just get it?
Yeah, you just got it.
The country is officially declared to be in recession.
Then came the crash, and the Berkeley's American dream started to crumble.
I went through a period of time for about 4 months at the beginning of this year where I didn't bring home any money.
The Berkeleys had to make some radical changes. Gym memberships canceled, replaced by neighborhood runs. That SUV sold. Trips to the amusement park with the kids replaced by trips to the backyard.
You fired the gardener. You cut off the cable, even though you have 3 big screen TVs.
3 TVs,
But here's the surprising part. The Berkeleys say the changes they've had to make, growing their own vegetables,
Looks good. You can make a salad.
cooking meals at home instead of going out, and having dinner at the dining room table, not in front of the TV, all of these changes have made their lives better.
You actually think your life is better now during the recession?
I think that the recession forced us to reevaluate what's important in life.
Look what Daddy got. What is that?
That's a beet. You grew it.
I grew it?
How do you think now that you would define American dream, given what you've gone through?
It's really about balance. For me, the American dream is to be able to have the best of both worlds, the career and the family, and to be present in both, and just really enjoying each moment.
You know, the kids don't need to be entertained all the time with all this other stuff. They just want to be with you.
I think what's good about a reset is it's a period of introspection. You actually have to think about how you're going to organize your family life. And we know spending time together, eating meals together regularly are what create true happiness and actually create well-developed, well-rounded kids.
Some believe this recession will improve all of our lives by bringing us back to the original vision of the American dream, first spelled out in 1931 by author James Truslow Adams, who describes that dream of a land in which life should be better and richer and fuller for every man.
The American dream still exists and is beautiful, dynamic, and important. Maybe we're saying the fruits of the dream are changing a little bit.
Wall Street Journal columnist Peggy Noonan envisions an America less fixated on designer labels and designer pets.
One of the things you write is, people will be allowed to grow old again. There will be fewer facelifts and brow lifts, less Botox, less dyed hair.
Mature people will be allowed to look mature. Elderly people will be allowed to look elderly.
We may change how and where we live, too. Suburban sprawl and hellacious commutes out, in smaller, more energy-efficient homes closer to town and city centers. Many experts paint a romantic post-recession vision where we'll all live like the Berkeleys, where money and status are less important.
You talk about life being better at the other end of this economic turmoil, but are you putting lipstick on a pig here? I mean, isn't this just painful and that's it?
Resets are really painful. It's horrible, but looking back through American history, these painful, terrible resets have always led to a much better way of life.